Dua Lipa and Callum Turner are back in headlines because their private London wedding appears to have become only the first chapter of a much bigger celebration. After an intimate ceremony at Old Marylebone Town Hall on May 31st, new reporting says the singer and the actor exchanged vows again in Sicily on June 6th, this time at Villa Valguarnera near Palermo, surrounded by a star-filled guest list and one very personal musical moment. Elton John, at the piano, performing Your Song. The open question is not whether this became one of the most talked-about celebrity weddings of the year. It is how a couple known for keeping much of their relationship private ended up with a wedding week that moved from a quiet London town hall to an Italian celebration watched by the entertainment world. For verified entertainment updates without the rumors, subscribe to Startline Entertainment. The latest update centers on the Sicily ceremony. According to People, Dua Lipa, 30, and Callum Turner, 36, held a second wedding ceremony on Saturday, June 6th. The outlet reported that the celebration took place in Palermo, Sicily, and cited Vanity Fair for the location, Villa Valguarnera, a historic estate that became the centerpiece of the couple's larger destination event. People also reported that Elton John performed Your Song and played piano as the couple exchanged vows. That detail immediately became the headline moment, not just because of Elton's status, but because of his public musical connection with Dua through their hit collaboration, Cold Heart. The reported Sicily event followed a much smaller ceremony just 1 week earlier. On May 31st, People reported that Dua and Callum married at Old Marylebone Town Hall in London, with a small group of loved ones present. Vogue reported the same setting and described Dua's bridal look as a custom white Schiaparelli couture skirt suit designed by Daniel Roseberry, paired with white gloves, Christian Louboutin pumps, and a wide-brimmed Stephen Jones hat. Callum wore a navy Ferragamo suit. That first ceremony was presented publicly as intimate, stylish, and deliberately low-key. That contrast is what made the Sicily follow-up so notable. The London ceremony was the private legal-style moment, while the Sicily celebration became the public-facing chapter filled with family, famous friends, music, fashion, and carefully protected privacy. Vanity Fair described the Sicily wedding as part of a 3-day celebration in Palermo, with events beginning before the Saturday ceremony. The same report said the heart of the festivities took place at Villa Valguarnera, where the couple said vows in a gazebo while Elton performed. The guest list, according to People and Vanity Fair, included names from music, fashion, and film. Donatella Versace, Joe Alwyn, Olivia Dean, Charlie XCX and George Daniel, Kevin Parker and Sophie Parker, Mark Ronson and Grace Gummer, along with members of Dua's family, including her sister Rina Lipa and father Dukajan Lipa. Vanity Fair also reported that chef Tony Lococo handled food, while music services included Carl Cox, Martin Garrix, David Guetta, and Peggy Gou. But there is an important verification note here. People reported that representatives for both Dua Lipa and Callum Turner had not responded to its request for comment. That does not erase the reporting, but it does mean the strongest responsible wording is that the second ceremony was publicly reported by major entertainment outlets, with many details attributed to Vanity Fair and People, rather than a formal statement from the couple's teams. To understand why this wedding drew such attention, the timeline matters. Dua and Callum were first linked in January 2024, after she attended an after-party connected to the Masters of the Air premiere. By July of that year, the relationship had become Instagram official when Dua posted from Glastonbury British Vogue, later reported that the two first met at the River Cafe in London, then reconnected in Los Angeles, where they discovered they were both reading Hernan Diaz's novel Trust. That detail became a recurring part of their public love story, and Vanity Fair even described a bookcase at the Palermo celebration as a personal tribute to that shared beginning. The engagement became public in June 2025. In British Vogue's July issue, Dua confirmed it directly, saying they were engaged and describing the moment as exciting. She also said Callum had the ring made for her after consulting people close to her. That interview became the clearest public anchor for their relationship status before the wedding reporting began. At the time, she said there were no wedding plans yet because she wanted to finish her tour and Callum was working. That makes the timing of the May and June 2026 ceremonies stand out. The London ceremony was also meaningful because of how understated it appeared. Old Marylebone Town Hall is a famous London registry office with a long celebrity history, but the photos described by People in Vogue showed a smaller family and friends scene rather than a massive public spectacle. Dua's outfit leaned into fashion history, a tailored white suit, hat, gloves, and sharp bridal styling rather than a traditional gown. Callum's navy suit kept the look formal but restrained. The images gave fans the first clear visual chapter of the marriage, while Dua's own social media post reportedly used the simple date caption 31.5.2026. Then came Sicily. The second celebration changed the scale, but it did not necessarily change the couple's desire for privacy. Vanity Fair reported heavy security around the Palermo events, including measures meant to protect guest privacy. The same report also noted that local restrictions and closed streets drew some controversy in the area, with protest posters appearing in response to the event's footprint. That is one of the few complicated notes in an otherwise celebratory story. A celebrity wedding can be glamorous and personal for the couple, while still creating visible disruption in a city hosting it. The Elton John moment is the strongest emotional detail because it connects directly to Dua's musical world. Elton and Dua released Cold Heart in 2021, a PNAU remix that brought Elton's catalog into a modern dance-pop setting with Dua's voice. Since then, their professional connection has been widely recognized, and People previously reported that Elton joined Dua on stage at London's Royal Albert Hall in 2024 for a Cold Heart performance. So when Elton appeared at the reported Sicily ceremony to sing Your Song, it was not just a famous guest performing at a famous wedding. It was a mentor, collaborator, and friend stepping into one of the most personal moments of the couple's public timeline. That is why this wedding story has more layers than a standard celebrity ceremony recap. It combines a private London legal moment, a high-fashion bridal reveal, a destination celebration in Sicily, a major musical performance, and a relationship timeline that has been public enough to follow, but private enough to keep fans curious. Dua and Callum have not built their public image as a constantly photographed couple giving interviews about every step. Their story has moved in selective public moments: the early dating rumors, the Glastonbury post, the British Vogue engagement confirmation, the London wedding photos, and now the reported Sicily celebration. The Startline takeaway is simple. What changed is the scale of the public story. A quiet London wedding already confirmed the marriage in the public eye, but the Sicily event turned that private milestone into a larger cultural moment. The important thing not to assume is that every reported detail came from the couple directly. People's reporting is strong entertainment reporting. Vanity Fair offered extensive on-the-ground color, and Vogue documented the fashion and London ceremony context. But representatives had not responded to People's request for comment on the second ceremony at publication time, so the cleanest framing is that the wedding week has been publicly reported and extensively documented by reputable outlets, with some details still coming through media accounts rather than direct statements. For now, the verified public arc is this. Dua Lipa and Callum Turner were linked in early 2024, went public later that year, confirmed their engagement in British Vogue in June 2025, married in London on May 31, 2026, and were then reported to have held a second ceremony in Sicily on June 6. The biggest moment from that second ceremony was Elton John performing Your Song as the couple exchanged vows. What remains unclear is whether Dua, Callum, or their representatives will release a full official statement about the Sicily celebration, or whether the couple will let the images reporting in simple wedding date captions speak for themselves. Until then, the story stands as a rare celebrity wedding timeline with two very different moods: the quiet town hall beginning and the cinematic Italian celebration that followed. One looked like a private promise, The other looked like a celebration built for family, friends, music, and memory. And together they explain why Dua Lipa and Callum Turner's wedding became one of the defining celebrity relationship stories of the moment.